Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. So today we're here to talk about how to train for longevity. So you're getting older and...
No, I'm not.
No. None of us are getting older.
No.
None of us are getting older.
Just
everybody else.
Right.
Bones get brittle when you get older though.
Hey, listen.
A little bit.
I broke my arm.
So anyways, so what does it mean to train for longevity? We're going to talk about that today. Whether you like strength training, whether you like endurance training, or you're just trying to figure out how to balance that in your everyday life, we're going to talk about that a bit today for you.
All right, so why should you be training for longevity? Well, this is sort of poignant here for me, seeing as how I just fell off my mountain bike and broke my arm. But the biggest thing with why we want people to be training for longevity is because things are going to happen, and as much as we don't want to admit it, we might be getting a little bit older every year, teeny bit, starting to have like the 4 in front of the age. But so you're getting a little bit older every year, which means that it becomes harder and harder to bounce back from different things. And so everybody has felt this way. They'll maybe either like not get enough sleep and be like, oh man, you know, when I was 20 that wouldn't have been a problem, and now it takes me a week and a half to recover from that or something. Well, imagine that effect on injuries or different health conditions that could arise, whether it's falling off your bike and breaking your arm or catching a virus. The better you set your body up for success, the quicker you're going to heal and recover from those things, and generally the less severe they're going to be.
All right, Justin brings up a great point with the virus and how long it takes you to recover. What they know is that people who are active when they're younger, they have more muscle on them, their cardiovascular fitness is better, they tend to have stronger immune systems. And as we get older, this is something we want to maintain. So when it comes to exercising, it's a non-negotiable. There are certain things that you have to do to challenge yourself. And we don't care if you have a preferred form of exercise or you don't like others. The bottom line is you really need to do some things that are going to challenge yourself. So new movements, novel forms of exercise are going to help challenge your body better so that you can get stronger in the long run. There are certain things like squatting, deadlifting, stepping exercises, moving side to side. Again, these are non-negotiable. These are just the things that you need to do to strengthen all the muscles in your lower body to keep your body as strong as possible.
So when we think about this, right, the biggest pushback that we'll get from people, or the biggest question, is how do they know how to safely do these exercises, and how do they know how much weight to use? So the biggest thing with the weight is that it's really easy to pick a weight that's too easy for you to do. And so if it's something you're not experienced with, you're more likely to think that you're better off going with a lower weight. And we want people to pick a weight that is mildly difficult for them, so not quite easy to do. Generally something where you're able to do like 8 to 12 reps is where we want you to sit for 3-4 sets of that, and it should be challenging. And sometimes you might need to play around with how you're holding the weight. So even for certain lower body things, we'll find that people are limited by their grip strength for holding the weight, and so something like a weighted vest is a great tool to allow you to get the weight that you need without having to worry about carrying it.
Yeah, and so John went through the exercises that are really important for all of us to be doing as we age, and Justin just talked about how to figure out what weight you should be using. But if this is all new to you, or you don't have a ton of experience doing strength training for your lower body, upper body, whatever, where should you start? So a good place to start is trying to just educate yourself on what the movements are, how to do them properly. You can do that on your own. You can watch videos and try to learn the form that way, or you can book an appointment with a personal trainer. Just try to watch form in the gym. Sometimes there's a lot of bad form in the gym.
People watching is fun though.
People watching is fun, and you do learn what doesn't look right, and you quickly learn what doesn't look right, and you learn better how to do the movements properly. And I think also just listening to your body, how a movement feels to you tells you a lot about how you're doing the movement. So if something just doesn't feel right, or you're not feeling it where you think you're supposed to be feeling the exercise, then maybe cue in a little bit more to the form that you're using for that exercise, because it's great to do strength training, but if you're doing it all improperly or wrong, you're going to end up in our office a lot faster than you probably hoped you would. So, yeah.
Very true. All right, so talk about strength stuff. Now let's talk about some more endurance-related exercise and activity that we want to get you into. So when we talk about endurance-related activity, the first thing I think we want to make sure is that I'm a big proponent of just kind of like going for a daily walk and doing these things, but that's not endurance-related activity. We're looking for about 2 hours a week. Doesn't have to be all at once, right? You can break it up, but like 2 hours a week of challenging endurance activity. So there's a lot of press, or people talk a lot about like easy cardio or like slow zone 2 type thing. That's not really what we're talking about when it comes to this type of training when we get into training for longevity.
So hearing that, what are some ways that you can get those 2 hours in per week? So
mountain biking.
You could do mountain biking and you could end up here again.
The ambulance does all the work getting you to the hospital.
Probably don't recommend the downhill mountain biking.
Maybe not that.
Yeah.
But biking is a really good way to get that endurance training in. Swimming is also a really good option. Jogging is another good option. So there are options for everyone. If you don't like jogging, get on a bike. If you don't like that and it's summertime and you want to swim, swim. But the point is you have to make it challenging enough. Whatever you're choosing to do, you can't really walk through it. Mm-hmm. You have to make it challenging enough for it to make the changes that your body needs it to make for your longevity.
And we're not saying that slow stuff, going for a walk, is not important, but it's just as you get older, those kind of things alone are actually not going to be what helps you when you find you're getting into difficult times. How many times people say, I get winded just walking up and down the stairs, or people move into a single-story house or living quarters, and then, all of a sudden the world around you still has stairs in it. You've got to go up and down stairs. Or you're at a family party and you have to do a lot more. You're on your feet all day, you're trying to help, and it just takes that much more out of you. Well, the more tired you get, the greater your risk of injury. Your nervous system's going to get fatigued, your balance can become compromised, you may have to carry something, you're going to end up being at risk of injury. So the higher intensity endurance exercise is actually going to help prepare your body for that, where you can go through your normal day, but then when you're tasked with doing something a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more challenging, your body's going to be well prepared to deal with it. Just walking around all day is not going to get it done. Just going up and down the stairs once or twice throughout the day is not going to get it done. You've really got to push yourself so that when you do get challenged later on, you can handle it.
So we have a good idea of what we need to be doing. Now we got to figure out how to schedule, how to fit this all in, and what this is going to look like. And I think that from a lot of our audience who are used to training for a specific goal, right? Like we're going to train for a marathon, or we're going to train for a half marathon, or a 10K, or a 5K. These are all very specific goals where there's kind of like an end point, right? But when we talk about training for longevity, we don't really have that end point. And so one of the biggest things about it is that when you're training for an event or a race, right, you're going to peak up, you're going to ramp your training up, you might taper down into the event, and then generally most of us take a week or half a year off.
Well rested.
After we're doing that. And so the thing is, when we're training for longevity, consistency over a long period of time is really the name of the game.
So Justin talked a bit about consistency and how important that is. So now how do we do this? How is this going to be attainable in your life? How do you make a schedule and stick to a schedule that's going to work for you? So that's honestly the biggest hurdle I think that a lot of people face. How do you fit it into your regular schedule? So something that, may be a good idea if this is brand new for you and you're just starting out with exercising, instead of, going for the goal of let's exercise 6 days a week, all of these every week, start with something more attainable for you. Start with 3 days a week and then work your way up to being able to tolerate and handle a 6-day-a-week exercise load. And something that might be helpful for people is trying to schedule it into your day. So if you just say from 6 to 7 a.m. every single day, that's going to be my hour that I get my exercise in, and then set your alarm, so that you wake up and you do that hour, and then, you'll feel better for it. You'll get your workout in, and this is the time that I have set aside for it. So I know that, if I don't do it then, I'm probably not going to get it in. Mm-hmm. And just know that, if you are a little bit less consistent with even when you do your workouts, say for example you work out late Monday night and then early Tuesday morning, that can affect the way you recover. It can affect the effect of the workout on you as well, because essentially you're doing 2 workouts in one 24-hour period. So just keep those things in mind as you're going to plan and figure out how you're going to fit this into your life.
Yeah, and consistency is important, but it's really all about what your body is used to. What can it handle? Have you been able to follow a routine like Meg just stated, and your body's adapted and you've figured out what works for you, what doesn't work for you? And so remember, the long game here is longevity forever. So your body's a machine, and machines need some time to rest and recover too. You can't just run a machine into the ground, otherwise it's going to break down. So how do we recover and rest? Well, taking an off day. So there's nothing wrong with an off day. An off day is going to allow your body to recover, some much needed rest, as long as you're getting good sleep, especially throughout the other days of the week when you are introducing or implementing or maintaining your new routine, whatever it might be. So don't knock the value of an off day. But that being said, don't underestimate how much of an impact multiple off days can also have on you, whether they're unplanned, and we all experience these unplanned interruptions into our daily schedules. So if you have an unplanned extra few days off, or if you got sick, or if you went on vacation, you want to take those things into account. As we get older, sorry to say it, guys, I haven't experienced that over 40 mark yet, so maybe some others can chime in. But
Yeah.
I know it's going to get harder for me as I get older to bounce back to my normal routine. So if you have had those unplanned interruptions and you've been forced to take some extra time off, whether it's sickness, like a bad thing, or a good thing, you went on a vacation, you want to ease back into it when you get back. Don't just jump right back into your old, old routine. Back off the weights a little bit, or the intensity. Maybe take an extra day off that week too. So off days are good to plan them in to recover while you're in the middle of your routine. But if you get interrupted, don't underestimate how much of an impact that can have too.
So John touched on recovery, rest days. Now we want to touch on some other factors that you can control to improve the effectiveness of your training. And so one of them is sleep, right? And so we talk about recovery, we talk about rest days, but if you're not getting adequate sleep, right, that's when your body is going to regenerate, repair, especially as you get older, the sleep becomes more and more important. And, all right, as the guy who's hit that 40 mark here, I can definitely feel a huge difference if I have a couple nights in a row where I just don't have the ability to get enough sleep. I can feel a difference in just like my thinking and
his mood. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, mood, right? Yeah, oh, definitely. If I go to exercise, I generally will track a lot of metrics when I exercise, and my heart rate will be almost like 5 to 10 beats higher for a given effort if I know that I haven't gotten enough sleep over the last few nights. So we're looking for that like magic 8 hours a night number. Naps count if you can get some naps in the middle of the day, if that's something you're able to do, but getting enough sleep is key for being able to take advantage of the benefits from the hard work you're putting in when it comes to training.
Yeah, the next key thing that we can control on our own is how hydrated we are. So typically what we recommend to people is about like 3 or 4 beers a day, right?
Yeah, I don't make
Oh, sorry. Not beers.
That was the internal notes.
Water. Wrong video.
Water. No, in all truth, we recommend
2 beers a day. 2 beers.
2 beers a day. Not 3 or 4. 2. No. We recommend that you drink about half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. And if you're a little bit more active or you're outside and it's really hot, we recommend increasing that to your full body weight in ounces of water per day. So I know people, everyone doesn't like the taste of water. I understand that, and that may seem like a lot of water for people, but it is really, really important to try to get, to make sure that you're staying hydrated, especially if you're increasing your training or just training, on a consistent basis.
Yes. So John's wife's a math teacher, and so I think we could kind of do a little experiment here, and I promise I won't edit anything. So let's just say you're 160 pounds. How many ounces of water?
160 pounds, half, 80?
That took a long time.
I'm rereading the question in my head.
Yeah.
She's in my ear. She
Vanessa, yeah. Right. All right, go ahead.
Well, truth really too, I mean, the more active you are, the more thirsty you're going to be. What I do find is my patients who I can tell are not active throughout the day, those are the ones that push back the hardest on how much they have to drink. But the ones who are active, it's usually a little bit easier to swing. So your body's actually going to figure it out. The last part of it to help recover is nutrition. Your body needs calories, right? You need a certain amount of calories just to live and exist throughout the day. And if you're going to be active on top of that, you still need more calories then also, all right? And if we're trying to build muscle or maintain muscle, you have to pack in the calories. I know a lot of people don't like to have their meals. A lot of people don't even like to eat breakfast anymore. I don't know what this thing is where people, they come to me in the afternoon and by then they've only had like 1,000 calories in maybe throughout the day. So if you want to actually build muscle and not waste muscle away, and you do tend to lose a certain percentage of muscle as you get older, you need to be eating more and more and more. Now this touches on a very nuanced topic. A lot of people have their preferences and their dietary restrictions or preferences or whatever it might be, or even suggestions from their healthcare provider. So caveat here is, you know, we're not going to tell you to do something that you're not supposed to be able to do. But what we do see is a trend where people simply do not eat enough. And so if you want to be able to have the energy throughout the day to be able to achieve whatever goals you might have or follow whatever routine you've set, you need to eat more calories. If you want to try to build muscle or prevent muscle wasting as you get older and stay strong, you've got to have more calories. So the long and short of it is, to recover, you need sleep, you need fluids to hydrate, and you need calories just to keep your body moving.
All right, so hopefully if you've made it this far through the video, you either found this interesting, insightful, or you can't figure out how to skip to the next video and stop playing it.
Or you heard that we suggest you drink 4 beers a day.
Right. Got to that part. No, so thank you very much. This is something that we are super passionate about, and it's a message that we're trying to do a good job of getting out and spreading, as well as just trying to live ourselves. So I don't know, what do you guys, any big closing thoughts, Meg?
I think that, you know, just making sure that whatever you decide to do exercise-wise is something that you're going to enjoy. I think that is important, because if this is something that you're hoping, you know, to do for your life and to enhance your life, you may as well enjoy it while you're doing it. It shouldn't all feel like a task. And I think that especially if this is new, as you get into it and as you start to become more fit and start to see the benefits of it, you will enjoy it a bit more. So don't be discouraged if in the beginning it kind of sucks and you're like, she said to enjoy it and this is horrible.
Yeah.
But it will get better as you get a little bit more fit. But try to choose things that you will find enjoyable so that you're more likely to do it and you're more likely to get the benefits out of it for a longer period of time.
And make it a game. Find the things that you're actually not that good at. What things are the most challenging, and like set goals and say, I will do this. Or challenge a friend to be able to do it with you, or a family member, or your spouse, significant other, your physical therapist.
Yeah.
But
you want to go mountain biking?
No. I'm digging my heels in on that one. That's a hill I am, never mind.
I was digging my heels in too. That's what went wrong.
But yeah, have fun with it. I mean, it's, yeah, I'm getting closer to. I see the challenge and trying to get back to some of the old ways as the years tick on, but can't really echo enough what Meg said. Just, you know, if you reframe and find the why you're doing it, you'll make it enjoyable.
All right, well, thank you very much. Enjoy. We'd love to hear what you're trying to do and what you're doing for yourself. So go ahead and throw that down in the comments below, and we'll see you back here soon.